One of the biggest challenges I've had since joining AMTIL is the number of people who say to me, "Oh, manufacturing's dying, isn't it?" No, it's not. It's not dying at all. It's quite vibrant, but I want to talk through some of those touch points, data sets that might give us a different view. If you look at the statistics, they're actually quite confounding, and it often depends on the period of time that you look at the statistic over which it's taken. This session isn't about choosing one perspective over another. It's about trying to understand the complexity of what's going on within the sector and the intertwined themes and challenges that define our landscape. The diversity of opinions and data reflects the dynamic environment in which we're working. Some argue that our technology is not just surviving, but thriving. Others caution that while adoption of advanced technologies is transforming production processes, the sector remains in a profound sense of flux or position of flux, grappling with global competition, skills shortages, and supply chain uncertainties. Some will tell you that we will never recover from the departure of the global car industry. These disparate views remind us that manufacturing technology is a living, evolving construct, constantly adapting to market forces, regulatory shifts, and economic pressures. Today we're going to unpack some of that and look at the driving factors around complexity and examine where we're currently at. My contention is that manufacturing is transforming, and that's what's causing all the uncertainty. Parts are growing, parts are contracting, parts are stagnant. Parts are automating, parts never will. Skills definitely are in shortage. We're in competition for skills not only within our industry, but with other industries and other career paths and other countries. And we need to start thinking outside of our industry about what that looks like. The stereotype of manufacturing has irrevocably changed. Large production lines and commoditised manufacturing are in the decline, no doubt, and have been for more than a decade. Instead, high value add, small run, high tech, clean tech is the new norm. We're never going to win the competition for hearts, minds and skills unless we can provide a shared vision and a narrative that is future focused and solutions focused and not anchored in the regrets of the past. There's no doubt that over the past decades, the role of manufacturing in Australia has shifted. For instance, while manufacturing once contributed 11% of GDP back in 1990, its share has reduced to about 6% by 2020, as other sectors, notably services and mining, experienced faster growth and took up more of that percentage. Recent estimates from 2024, which is about as most recent as I could get, show that manufacturing accounted for roughly 5.9% of Australia's GDP. This figure comes from analyses such as the Reserve Bank's Composition of the Australian Economy snapshot, which breaks down the economy into key sectors based on their output and contributions. The 5.9 figure, so that's 2024, we're 5.9%, 2020, we're at 6%, 1% drop over 4 years. The structural transformation of Australia's economy is such that traditionally manufacturing had a larger share of the national output, but over the decades the economy shifted increasingly towards services, health, education and other sectors. Although manufacturing remains a crucial source of employment and exports, its relative contribution to the overall economy has diminished. There's no doubt about that. But let's reframe this to think about the fact that 5.9% GDP is roughly $145 billion. AI and I did that calculation on the weekend. It's a huge contribution to Australian life, and let's consider that GDP is growing faster than the contribution from manufacturing has declined. For example, our GDP in 2020 was about $2.6 trillion, 2.06, and in 2024 it was 2.73 trillion Australian dollars. In other words, the proverbial pie grew. So while manufacturing's percentage contribution remained fairly stable with that 1% drop, it actually means that in real terms, in absolute terms, manufacturing is growing. So in dollar terms, it's growing. So we've got two different points of view there. Both are true, but they give you a very different view of what's going on. Our changing landscape has spurred debate amongst policymakers and economists about how to support manufacturing. This is especially so where it offers competitive advantage, particularly in high value add or niche segments. These discussions often centre on the need for targeted investments in technology, skills development and infrastructure, and to ensure that manufacturing can continue to be a dynamic part of Australia's multifaceted economy. Despite this small decline in GDP share, the manufacturing sector remains dynamic and highly diverse. Many manufacturers, especially small businesses, excel in niche production fields or acting as critical suppliers within larger value chains. This diversity not only underscores the sector's adaptability, but also the importance as a source of high-skilled, high-paying careers. So we're hearing this stereotype about low-paying jobs in this sector. It's not what the future looks like. The future is around precision engineering. It's about highly skilled and highly paid jobs. Regardless of how you think about the numbers, Australian manufacturing is acknowledged as one of the country's key industries. According to One Fact File, it's the nation's seventh largest employer, providing 873,000 jobs, making up about 6.8% of all employment in Australia. Moreover, it's considered the fifth largest industry for economic output. The sector is not only crucial for domestic economic activity, but it also plays a major role in international trade, generating roughly $117 billion in export earnings, about 11% of annual exports. It accounts for almost 27% of the nation's total export earnings. Recent data from the ABS highlights continued growth within the sector. For example, the number of employees in manufacturing increased 3.5% between 2022 and 2023. Not surprising, because a growing sector employs more people. During the same period, the industry value add for manufacturing rose from approximately $124 billion to $133 billion, reflecting a 7.7% increase. And those figures are a little bit, they happened during COVID. They're only a guide. They probably can't be relied upon to give us a strong view, but all of these data points coalesce to give us a view that manufacturing is actually growing. The figures emphasise that amidst broad economic changes, manufacturing continues to expand its contribution overall. And the detailed breakdowns across the various manufacturing subsectors show some growing and some declining. The landscape today is marked by both promise and complexity, and while it continues to be a significant contributor to employment, the economy and exports, manufacturers are navigating some real challenges, such as global competition, rising costs, now tariffs, and the imperative to modernise operations through technological advances and sustainable practices. Government support and a focus on tech and process efficiencies are key factors that can help the industry sustain growth and adapt to future demands. And we've seen with the federal election result, talk about productivity, and I expect that we'll see a whole lot more around that. But government support should be that support, not handouts, It's not handouts that we're seeking. If we're smart, we'll be looking to government to help us build structural changes and to structural improvements, I should say, and to help us to become more sustainable, more successful, not just to give us what we think we need. It should be sustainable, not reliance that underpins our thinking. Manufacturing remains a dynamic and evolving component of Australia's economy, whether we look at employment numbers, value add or export contributions. At the core of our discussion lies the transformative power of technology. Advances in robotics, AI, additive manufacturing and smart sensors are reshaping every facet of production. The advent of Industry 4.0 isn't merely about digitising existing operations. It represents a fundamental shift, a convergence of data analytics and precision machinery that creates hyper-efficient, self-monitoring production lines. Imagine a modern factory floor where smart sensors provide real-time data, enabling predictive maintenance that not only minimises downtime but foresees potential issues before they escalate. These innovations revolutionise quality control and enhance efficiencies that were once unimaginable. This is actually already our reality. Despite the concern that Industry 4.0 would replace human input, this is actually not the reality. While Industry 4.0 has introduced advanced digitisation through automation, smart systems and the use of the Internet of Things as well as robotics, Industry 5.0 shifts the focus towards a more human-centric approach. It represents the next step in the evolution of manufacturing and industrial processes. This paradigm emphasises collaboration between humans and machines rather than replacing human workers. The guiding principle is to combine the creativity, intuition, and problem-solving ability of humans with the precision, speed, and data processing power of intelligent machines. In essence, instead of viewing technology as a substitute for human labour, Industry 5.0 envisages technology as an enabler that augments human capabilities and the production process. That's why skills development and training will remain critically important, no matter how much digitisation and AI that we embrace. No conversation about transformative technology in manufacturing would be complete without addressing the disruptive impact of additive manufacturing. This innovative approach is embodied by 3D printing and other layer-by-layer fabrication techniques. It is, in fact, revolutionising how components are conceived and produced. Additive manufacturing offers the capability to produce intricate, high customised parts directly from digital designs, thus reducing both production lead times and material waste. Recent studies indicate that nearly 40% of forward-thinking Australian manufacturers have already integrated some form of additive manufacturing into their operations. So it's not new, it's been around for decades, but we're now seeing real transformative shift. Industry forecasts are predicting annual growth exceeding 20% over the next few years. This technology is unlocking complex, lightweight designs that have significant implications for sectors such as aerospace, medical, automotive, and defence. Moreover, additive manufacturing enhances our ability to localise production by reducing reliance on conventional supply chains. These technologies boost agility and resilience, vital attributes in today's volatile global market. Of course, challenges remain. Issues like materials standardisation, scalability and quality assurance require ongoing research and collaboration. Fortunately, national research institutes and public-private partnerships are working to address these hurdles. ensuring that Australia not only keeps pace, but leads advancements in this field. On that note, I'm delighted to acknowledge the birth of the Additive Manufacturing CRC, which was announced literally 2 weeks ago in the midst of the federal election campaign. This was welcome news that the Commonwealth Government will back the new CRC with $58 million over 7 years to establish a world-class additive manufacturing ecosystem spanning the entire value chain. The opportunity to leverage the global rise of additive manufacturing is great news for us. It's been on a steady growth trajectory over a long period of time, possibly 2 decades, and is now acknowledged as the fastest growing sector in global manufacturing. The sector is currently growing at 14% compounded average growth rate, and we think that that will increase in the years to come. The Additive Manufacturing CRC is an industry-led collaborative research initiative that brings together 101 partners from industry, research and government, including AMTIL, to secure $271 million worth of funding. My congratulations go to Simon Marriott, the Additive Manufacturing CRC bid lead and director, and the chair of the CRC, Susan Jeans, and to the dozens of people that worked over many years to secure this support, including AMTIL's now retired CEO, Shane Infanti. The CRC will be up and running by the 1st of July, and AMTIL members can access up to $3 million in matched funding for research. The Additive Manufacturing CRC has a booth here at Australian Manufacturing Week, and you're encouraged to drop by and have a chat with the team. Either that or drop in and see me at the AMTIL stand. The new CRC, coupled with the new Australian Additive Manufacturing Network, launched recently with AMTIL's support, will see our members looking to unlock opportunities in this well-connected ecosystem. No discussion about our sector would be complete without addressing the economic forces at play. We're obviously embedded in a global network, continually influenced by competitive pressures, shifting trade policies, supply chain issues, and economic uncertainties. Recent insights from industry surveys indicate that over 220 senior leaders in the sector expressed concerns about these challenges, with 71% expecting persistent workforce shortage issues through 2025. While no one can guess where Trump's tariff war will lead, at least our federal government is decided now for another 3 years. And what business really appreciates is certainty. So we start today on a new foot, whether we like the certainty or don't like the certainty. Whatever you feel about the outcome of the election, it does bring certainty to the landscape, and that's a good thing. In this era of rapid change, no organisation or individual can address emerging issues alone. Collaborative efforts are essential for pooling resources, sharing insights and forging alliances. AMTIL exists for the purposes of sustaining and growing manufacturing technology. It sees its role as one of providing resources and platforms and connection to enable this to occur. Where there is common thinking, common challenges and common good to be delivered, that's where we want to be working. This exhibition, Australian Manufacturing Week, is but one example of the resources that we provide. It is the biggest example that we provide. We're also working with cross-sector partnerships to enable the co-development of training programs and action plans, collaborative research initiatives like the CRC, and novel technological solutions that keep our focus on the future. In summary, taking the pulse of Australian manufacturing in Australia reveals a paradox. In some areas, our technology is thriving, propelled by a rapid digital transformation and innovation. In others, persistent challenges such as workforce shortages and economic uncertainties remind us that the road ahead is not without obstacles. Ask 10 different experts and you'll get 10 different answers. and each of them are true within their own context. This range of perspectives is not a sign of discord, but rather an indication of a dynamic and evolving industry. It underscores the complex and continuous nature of innovation. In closing, I challenge each of you, whether you're a precision manufacturer, a technology innovator, a machine tool expert, or a policy maker, to help craft the vision for the future of manufacturing technology side by side with AMTIL. By investing in transformative technology, nurturing our most valuable asset, our people, and forging robust partnerships, our manufacturing technology sector can continue its transformation and be healthy for generations to come. Thank you.